I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of gray, so when it's gray, you can't really see where the sky meets the sea there, but the sea's actually just there. So behind our home, there is, it's a bit hilly. I think it's actually like a national park or a reserve or something.
So. I think so.
But basically, it's a pine tree forest with some other random trees. And there's a hiking trail that goes through here. And on our last few hikes, we noticed what we believe is a loquat growing. There's a lot of loquats around here. And in fact, there's several in our park where we live. So there's lots of them in our park. So we know that they'll grow. They do well here. This one actually, we saw it and we were like, let's grab it. We said, nah, let's leave it. It's a volunteer in the wild. Let's let it do its thing. But then I got to thinking, like, where it's growing in consideration to the trees that I have seen, I think they like more of like a full sun setup. And so I figured we'll go transplant it and try to give it a good home. We do have several other trees growing on our plot. So we'll see if we can give it a nice home and get it out from under this kind of denser shaded area. But we're just headed along this trail to cross under the freeway. Basically, it's under this highway. So we're gonna keep heading this way. We'll give you an idea as we go and show you how we're gonna transplant this bad boy. So this is where the plant, oh there it is. It's really low light in here. So let me see what I believe is a loquat there. And I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, for sure. That is all pine tree pollen. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Yeah, anyway. That's all pine tree pollen. The entire forest is coated in it right now, just everywhere. And where water pools, you can really see it. It'll be like a huge ring of it. Oh, look at the ground. You can even see it. Like the little in-betweens are yellow.
Mm-hmm. There's so much.
So we're gonna get this dug up a bit, and as we go, I'll show you how we're gonna get it bagged up and brought back over to the house. So if you can see, I don't know if you can you see how I've dug this into a little ball? So I've dug down around it basically. I dug out the sides a bit, and then I went on each side like this and went around it basically all the way around. And as you can see, it's ready to come up. I'm just gonna go for it now and hope that the taproot isn't very deep. And then I'm gonna put it in this bag, and I'm trying to get it into the corner. That way I can then wrap the bag around it. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Is there a big root coming out the bottom?
No.
Well, that's good, I guess. Then that means that
You got far enough down?
and the majority of the roots is right there. So I'm gonna stop this now and get this wrapped up, and we'll get it packed in our bag, and we're gonna head back and show you how we're gonna get that potted up. As you can see, I've taken the large bag and I've wrapped it around it, so it actually worked out pretty good, and it looks like it's bundled up pretty nice.
Right, that was better than I expected.
Right, I don't know if I can get it in this backpack as easy as I'd like, but let's see.
I bet you can. That backpack is pretty multi-purpose.
Great, and then let's see, I could probably just zip up the sides. And bam! This is this huge underpass that we can take that runs under this highway. It's pretty neat. There's actually, the highway runs up there, and these trails, they run underneath it. It's kind of cool in some spots. It looks really post-apocalyptic because you're just underneath these massive columns that are holding it up, and there's just all kinds of vegetation growing and animals and stuff. It's a pretty neat scene. But so we're just out taking our plant for a walk, as you can see.
He's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's really enjoying it. It's a nice day. He needed some fresh air. So this is another part of this trail that is kind of neat. I think in another trail video of this trail that we made, I showed this, but you can see this exit that we actually take just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's pretty cool. As you can see, we've picked up another plant. Rachel insisted
It's been so fun, all of the little projects that I can do with lavender, and rather than having to come out and take it from where it's naturally growing, I'd rather have it in my own pot that I can harvest from. And
yeah, there's so much of it. We
so much.
We took one from there. It's so prevalent here You can see it just goes back as far as you can see, and in fact, some of these areas are just covered in lavender. It's crazy, and it's Spanish lavender, so it's neat because it has a little extra blossom at the top of the flower, so that's pretty cool. So we'll also be transplanting this lavender.
Like he was saying with the little blossoms, that's how you can tell it's Spanish lavender, because they have these little fun little blossom hats on.
I'm a little winded and I'm getting a little dank because it is humid as hell out today. But I wanted to stop on this trail and show you a real quick view. Just how the hills keep going. If you keep heading back that way, you'll eventually hit another town that's back that way. And then here's the hills that just roll down to the sea. And there's the beautiful Mediterranean coastline. What do you think, babe? Good view?
I love it. I love the beach that you can see.
Huh.
The different hills. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, we really enjoy coming up here and hiking back here in the hills, so it's quite an adventure. Spain has an amazing coastline. Anywhere you'll go, you'll see beautiful views for sure. So just up on this, basically this highest hill, just before you hit the sea, we'll head back down this back into our park, and then if you continue down, you get to the sea. There's this what I believe is a carob tree. So if anyone could clarify that for me. You see it has the pods just like a carob tree, and I'm pretty sure it is, and it looks like there's actually another one over there, or a few of them throughout here. So we picked up one more succulent.
Couldn't help ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We got a couple pieces, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm just holding two of them here.
Sorry.
Here's the other one.
There's that one and then the other big piece. So here's our little plot. As you can see, we have quite a few things in pots already, and we have a little collection. Actually, there was a huge storm, and a lot of these pots washed up on the sea. It was pretty cool. So they're kind of like gifts from the sea.
What was that storm, Gloria?
Yeah.
Gloria, is that right?
Gloria, yeah, it was crazy. People actually like died. A bunch of people died. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch of people. Several people died.
Well, I think there was like 13.
And a bunch of farmland was destroyed. Like, anyway, so we have a little pine tree. That was a volunteer that was actually growing in our gutter. And these are all peach trees that we grew from seed. Unfortunately, they've got a peach leaf curl. I won't rant too much, but we've got them trimmed back and staked off so that they'll straighten up a bit. But yeah, we have, what else to note? Oh, we have an avocado tree there. So we're going to get these potted up. We've got some soil and stuff ready, and we'll show you how it looks when we're done. I've got the pot I'm intending to put the loquat into just here. I'm emptying out some soil. What I'm going to do is attempt to do my best to mix some of the soil that I brought that it was in, it's native soil, with this soil mixture I have here, which is basically some composted soil that I've been doing with some of this native soil. So I'll just mix them all together. And I've dug it out so I could, of course, put the plant down in there. And then I'll adjust the height where it sits in the pot by either adding or removing soil from the base. And then I'll get it filled in. First, I'm going to actually knock a little bit off of the sides of what's in this ball that I dug up, just to make it a little easier to get down in there, but nothing too crazy. Once I get that set up, I'll show you where I'm at. So Rachel got her lavender transplanted. You can see it there. She's done a little bit of the native soil with some of our soil that we have in our compost bin here. So that one looks pretty good, and it looks like it's going to definitely get some good nutrients. And then here's that other little succulent that we grabbed on the way back. We've put that in more of just the native soil itself, so it's well draining, and this is a low water plant, as succulents generally are, so we didn't worry about it needing to be in any of this other type of soil with you know, the more organic matter being broken down. This is more, we think this will do better in more of a rocky natural environment like the soil we took it from. Enough about that, sorry, ranting. This is about where I'm going to leave that in that pot I wanted to show you. I'm going to fix the ball a bit so that that stem stays a little bit more vertical. But other than that, it's about the height I'm going to sit it at. I basically added soil underneath, and after I knocked off a bunch of the native soil, you see that's the ball I was left with. You can see some of the roots sticking out. And then I'm just going to fill in around it with my mixture here, which is, I did okay, I think. I'm not sure exactly what the perfect mixture would be, but this is, as I was stating, I was going to mix some of the soil here with some of this soil, and then have that bag there with some of the soil from the site where we actually took it from, and the stuff that I knocked off the ball. So I'm going to fill that in. So here's the setup just before I'm going to add some mulch, basically like I did here. And once I get that done, I'll show you what I've done and why I did it the way I did. So I've now got this set up with a bit of mulch. With mulch, you don't want to make it too thick, and of course you don't want to make it too thin either. I've maybe done like a couple inches or something like that. You'll have to look it up. I'm not exactly sure the depth, and it may be different for different applications, but read about it yourself, of course. But one thing I do know is you want to not pile the mulch against the base. They call it sometimes like a volcano. They'll pile it up like a pyramid kind of. You don't want to do that. I was reading, you can read about it as well, but real quick, I was saying that you don't want to basically cover the bark, because the bark will start to deteriorate. This outer portion here, right? It'll start to deteriorate, and it's meant to protect the tree from disease and things of that nature. So you want to leave a circle so that it doesn't do that, essentially, right? But read about that as well. Okay, so this trim may seem drastic, and I know you may say it's going to shock the plant, but I'm hoping that trimming it back will actually help to stimulate new growth on the top. As you can see, this new stuff's already coming in, which is really good for me. There's the new leaf coming in, and then there's a new cluster there coming in. And then there was actually a little bit coming in down here, which is really good too. So I cut these leaves back so that the tree wasn't using any energy on those leaves. So maybe that's bad, because I may cause it to go into shock. But I don't know. I'm hoping it'll do well. Let me know what you think about that. We'll find out, I guess. Stay tuned, and in the future I'll give an update depending on how this guy does. And the last thing I wanted to do was I've taken some of my nutrient mixture, and I did a heavier mix to stimulate root growth, is basically what it was. So I'm gonna let that go down a bit. I'm kind of worried I didn't make that soil sandy enough, so that it didn't drain, so that it isn't draining well enough. But I guess it's draining quick enough, and it's not like it rains a lot right here. It's along the coast, so there's just a lot of moisture in the air, but you don't necessarily get a lot of rain during particular parts of the year. I don't know if you can see it very well, but so the sea's just there. It blends in just perfectly with the sky on cloudy days. It turns the sea gray, and then it kind of just merges into itself. The sky and the sea kind of merge into one another. But yeah, so there's definitely a lot of air and moisture in the air. So I'm hoping that this year, having done the mulch, that'll help me when we are away, since we aren't able to water, and the mulch will heat up during the day, and then as the night comes, the mulch will cool and condensate and keep that, also help to keep that moisture in the soil itself when it does rain. So yeah, that's basically what I've got there. Hopefully it works out. As you can see, we've got a few things going. So hopefully we know what we're doing, and we get a little loquat tree going. I'll show you real quick what we've got if you care to see. So I mentioned the avocado. These are alyssum. These are wild. They just grow everywhere, so we put some in a pot. We've got a pot full of poppy seeds, hoping those will eventually come in. That's another succulent that grows here, as well as this one and these ones. So these are all succulents and things that we've transplanted. And then here's my peach trees. And these were lilacs? These were lilac clones we took. And I think that's a little tomato plant that was actually growing in one of these other pots, so I transplanted it. There's some more alyssum in that little pine tree. But yeah, this is just our little spot here. You can see it is possible to get some things growing if you have tight space, and it's fun, and it boosts the little area that you do have. But thanks for coming and checking out my video on this transplant. Let me know what you think if you care to, and wish me luck, and let's hope this thing grows. I wanted to do an update on this loquat tree that we transplanted. So we actually left and completed our work season, and remember before we left I trimmed all these leaves off, and in fact since we've returned, I've trimmed off several of these large leaves, so it did fill out again, and then I cut some stuff off, and we're actually getting ready to leave again, and you can see that it's sprouting a whole new set there. So yeah, it's great. I put it in a bigger pot. I don't know if you guys saw earlier in the video the avocado tree, but it actually got really big. It was tiny, actually, maybe the same size as that when we left last time, and when we came back it was huge, so it did really well. And all my peach trees, they've actually gone dormant now because it is January and they are dormant. It's not really cold, but it's cold enough and dark enough that they have lost all their leaves. So when I return, I will trim those up, and this guy should have a bit more growth on it. But as you can see, the transplant went well, and I think we're gonna hopefully have a nice little loquat tree in a couple years here. Thanks for checking out my video, guys.